that out?
Well, I got myself a laptop finally.
Oh, there you go.
Nice little Black Friday sale. So,
Good girl.
good. So we are recording.
Great.
Yeah.
How was everyone's Thanksgiving?
Good here.
I'm fat now.
How was everybody's Cyber Monday?
What's that?
How was everybody's Cyber Monday?
I spent money.
I worked till 3:00 this morning on a girl, and she sold for another oil company, and she signed on board with us. She dropped another company.
Nice.
Yes.
Congrats.
She's from West Coast, so it was midnight for her, and I'm like, oh man, I need to go to bed. Come on.
Did everyone see that the sale was extended?
How great.
So keep working it.
No. You're going to be on TV. There you go. See you? Do you see you? Hi.
Where's everyone? Hey. She's a cutie. What's her name?
Gracie.
Gracie?
Yeah.
Hi, Gracie. Hi. She's so cute.
Silly girl.
Mom. Well, since we're on a time limit, should we just get started? Kim, this is your first time in our group, right?
In this group, I've done other Zoom calls for Senior Star, but on different days.
Well, good to have you here.
Thank you.
Welcome. I'm double fisting, by the way. So
fabulous.
But it's not wine.
Mm-hmm. That's what he says every time.
So I'm totally out of the loop. I did no audio recordings this week, but I will catch up with them.
There was only one this time, so didn't miss too much.
Okay. I was going to say, because it was just I was so concentrated. I got 4 cells in, and I was like, man, I just want, I was going through a list of 50. Just keep on pushing.
Well, does anyone have anything they want to share about business, about the sales, anything like that so far? Anyone close to ranking up this month?
I'm halfway there. I'm so excited. I'm probably going to be 700 short, but I went from I'm 800 over what I was last month. So for me to see that kind of growth, I'm like, that's huge. I just need to, and I've been applying everything we've been learning weekly. And so I've been doing where she said about don't give the ER an option. And 3 of my people signed up with ER. And I'm like, that's unbelievable. So definitely listening to it. It was amazing.
You guys ever done any incentives to get people either on ER or back on ER? Because I'm thinking it might be. Yeah, does it work or?
I think it kind of works for the people who are already thinking about it and are just being lazy about it, or need that final push. But I don't think it's
to be broke. They're just I ain't doing it.
Yeah. The people that are sure, why not? People that are either already ordering somewhat consistently, or sometimes new people that don't really know about it yet. What I have done is I have given an incentive for signing up with ER right when they purchase their kit. If they sign up and stay on for 3 months, then I will give them a product credit or something like that. So I find that's more effective than giving it to them.
$25 or?
Just kind of depends on where I'm at financially at the moment, but yeah, anything.
Okay.
So, or sometimes I'll send them something. I'll make up rollers or whatever I can do at the moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna start doing that.
So
Cool.
I did the offering of the 25 cash back, and the 3 that I had on the ledge that were like kind of like I've been working with them for months, and I knew which one of them was the distributor for the other oil company was like, oh, I'm on now. And I think it was like the idea that like I'm paying 135 versus 160, just okay, I got to get it now. And there was a deadline. Like they couldn't. The one last night with the oil company, like she had been messaging me since I started the sale, which was before Black Friday. And then I'm like, you have till midnight, which for her was 3 a.m. And she's like, I want it. Talk me through it. Like the whole way through, like she was panicked. She didn't want to lose the 25 pounds. Yeah.
The only problem that I have found with doing those types of sales, I do them on occasion, but I try not to do them very often because I have found that the people who tend to sign up with sales are often the people that always want and always expect a deal. And so they're only going to purchase when there's a Black Friday sale, when there's a, whatever, when they want everything on a discount. And it's not always the case, but I've also experienced this in several other businesses that I've owned. And so it's, when you put out a Groupon, the people only come because they have a discount, and so it's, what I find is really important is helping people to see the value and that it's worth way more than the full price.
Yeah.
The value is at least double what they're paying when they pay for it full price. So if they don't see that it's worth that, then it's going to be hard to convince them later that it's worth continuing to purchase on a regular basis and getting on ER and that kind of thing. So I'm just cautioning you, I would not make a habit of doing sale. Some people do them all the time. Like every time they promote the starter kit, they say it's, I'm going to give you $25 back. And I just don't think that is very effective.
I only do it like when I'm pushing to hit a certain number. So like, or like when they had that kit sale, the very last day of the kits, like discounted kit sale, I offered it for like 4 hours. So I'm like, here's your opportunity. It's never going to happen again. Like, and then like I said, 3 of mine signed up with the ER, and 2 of them I knew, like the one bought a rainstone diffuser. So for her, the $25 was just going toward a better diffuser. Plus she sells for another company, and she's been wanting to change over to us. So it was just like her push to get off the boat and switch over.
Okay, great.
So it was very calculated. So I do agree with you. If people are doing it all the time, I have seen that even in our group where they'll sign on 20 people, but those 20 people aren't ER. Those 20 people aren't beneficial because it's like I got a kit and it's sitting under the cupboard and they're like, where's your kit? Oh, well, I haven't opened it yet. And you're like,
that's baffling to me.
I know, right?
So who all listened to our speaker this week? Okay. This week we were talking about our energy and our conscious language. A lot about just mindset training type things.
Mommy.
Does anyone have any thoughts on those of you that did listen?
I'm curious out of the people that are here who actually believe that, like, because I do, like your thoughts do like become things. Like some people just don't grasp that whatever you're thinking will affect the rest of your your day or your week.
Absolutely.
So I'm just curious and she talks a little bit about how you have a bunch of thoughts, and then you'll have this negative thought, and then you'll have a positive thought. Like, yeah, we want to rank, but like, oh man, I have to do this and that, and then it's what your mind actually holds on to. like, oh yeah, I want to rank, but then I always have excuses like, you know, my last excuse was like, you know, I was working too much. Now it's like, you know, I have the time now and I'm like still too busy. How am I still too busy when I'm not working? You know, it's like you come up with excuses, you have all these like negative thoughts. But her thing, and I do believe this, is like sticking with your positive thought, what you want to do, and move forward from that. So it was a good talk.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? Neat said you have nothing to say because you didn't. It was Thanksgiving week. Come on.
I think that's why they only gave us one.
It was,
Yeah.
it was this weekend was a lot for me emotionally. So I have, my father passed away in September. And so, this Sunday was his birthday. This was our first family holiday without dad. I'm actually not in Texas. I'm in Tennessee at my mom's house. So, and we're working on a lot of things to kind of take care of. So I've been kind of off kilter this week. Um, and I'm trying to get my mind frame back right. But I didn't want to miss my call because you guys just don't know how much you encourage me. So I was talking to my upline, T. Kendrick, and she was like, just breathe and reset. And so that's kind of where I am right now is I did get a sign up
Nice.
Thanksgiving Day in my downline. I had been working with my sister-in-law and she and a cousin of ours that had been interested in. And so I kind of talked her through the process of getting her signed up and explaining how, you know, ER is. And even though my sister-in-law could have, she was the one that took the kit and created roller balls for different people. And she was selling her roller balls. And I was like, stop selling your roller balls and get people signed up, you know? So that's kind of how that worked. But so, you know, I'm trying to get back to where that excitement where I was. It's just a little emotional. So I've been rubbing some of everything on me this week. So, but that's where I am. So yes, no, I didn't do my homework, but I will catch up. I will catch up.
I actually, back to like the positive thinking, I had this mini drama yesterday. I've been working on my buddy, trying to get him to sign up, and his mom. He's a hiker buddy of mine, and we go hiking, and he sees the oils that I use when I go hiking, and we camp out and all that. And then I met his mom, and I was like, hey, you think your mom would be, you know, like, because she brought up the oils, and I was like, you think she'll be cool if I do like a class for her and her friends and family? He was like, yeah. She spoke to her. It's like, yeah, let's do it like after the holidays, maybe even before Christmas. And I was like, cool. So then yesterday, he's a photographer, so he's working on like a photo shoot with my girlfriend because she's constantly doing like photo shoots. And like, I was hanging out with him for a minute, and then I left, and I get a text from one of the photographers. He was like, hey, oh, and my hiker buddy's name is Ish. I'm making this longer than it should be, but I'll try to condense it. His name is Ish, and short for Ish Kabibble, trail name, long story. And he goes, thanks for letting Ish hang out with us and learn about photography, this and that, and help us out. And he was interested in the oils, in the essential oils. So I signed him up, and I became executive. And I'm like, what? I've been working on him for months, and his mom. And I'm like, I was like fuming. I was like, I can't even believe this. I was grabbing all my oils. I was like, I can't believe this is happening to me. So I texted my girlfriend. I was like, what's going on? Like, that was my sign up. So she goes, she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I thought you were just going to talk to them about oils. And then I was like, that's why I'm doing it, so I can sign them up. I had like a whole list of people, because it's like, not just him, it's him, his sister, his mom, his aunt. Like, I was like, that's like a bunch of people I could have signed up. And then she goes, oh, he's just joking. And I'm like, you are killing me. You are killing me. I was like my blood pressure just went up. I almost had a stroke. I was like, I was working on this dude forever, you know? And I was like, oh, and then I'm running in my mind, like how he signed him up. And then my girlfriend's watching. I'm like, don't you know I was working on that guy? Long story short, he didn't sign him, but he is interested in signing. So hopefully when I see him today or tomorrow, I got him. But anyway, that was my mini drama. But I try to keep it positive. I grab my white Angelica, my lavender, all that, try to keep it positive. I'm like, how do I make this positive? It was very hard for me to like stay positive, but drama like avoid it. So stay positive. Anyone else? MP3s, audios? Heather, what you get out of it?
Okay, am I on?
I scared her away.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Okay, my speaker wasn't working. Okay, no, I loved this, and it actually, a friend of mine, my best friend, her mom is a life coach, and so she helps me out a lot, especially in this area because I'm so bad at not catching myself. And so this was crazy to hear it, from a young living business perspective. But it is absolutely true. And like I said, we homeschool, and we have actually done the water research like she had talked about with the molecules, that the water molecules changing.
Yeah.
We've done stuff like that, and we've seen it from other people in like the co-ops and stuff that we go to. And it's crazy how much words definitely affect. Like, I know water was one, and we've also seen one with like an actual plant. They had it separated, and one plant had a tape recording saying positive things to the plant, and another plant, like separated, had a tape recording saying negative things to it, and the plant that had the negative things saying to it eventually died.
That's so crazy.
And that was crazy. It was just the plant, and you don't think about it, but it's a living thing just like us, and what we say to ourselves definitely matters. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've heard of that water experiment where you just like put like a label on it, like love or health or whatever.
Yeah.
And I want to actually start. I did it for a while, but I want to start doing it again. I think it's. Yeah. I also like when she was telling the audience to try to stand up.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, whoever like stood up wrong and whoever didn't stand up wrong. Like, it's like, you can't try something, you either do it or you don't. So when you say you want to try to rank up, it's like, you're just going to continue doing that. You're going to continue trying to rank up instead of saying you're going to rank up. So that was really interesting. It's like, I've been writing a journal for like, since I was a teenager, and I've learned not to use certain words like I don't want this, or, just like negative things, trying to turn them into positive. So I try to avoid those words. I guess it does work. I've always been a positive person, but yeah. And also when she talks about not using don't in your vocabulary, don't and try, which is like something I've been implementing in my life for a long time. Cheers.
Trying to decipher my notes over here.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at my notes too, and I'm trying to like see what else I was writing here. Sometimes I can't read my writing.
Yep.
Kim, did you listen to any of the audio, or that last week's audio, or this week's audio?
Yeah. One of the things that I am bad at that I heard her mention is to not become a manager. I tend to more manage the group, my team, versus letting them do whatever they're doing and keep going on, with pursuing more people. I don't know. I guess managing is a little bit easier and I can hide behind it versus continuing going out and doing it again and again and again.
Yeah, that's a hard one. I managed the bar for a while and for many years, and I'm so used to like telling people what to do because they expect it, because they're like kids, they're like, okay, if something goes wrong, let's go to Derick, because he's the manager. It's not my job, it's his job. So I'm so used to telling people what to do. But now it's like, with this is different. So instead of like, if I get a question, I love my upline. They're really great, and they give me awesome resources. And anytime, so when my downline has a question, I try to like direct them to the resources instead of just telling them exactly what to do. And she also mentioned something about like not telling them exactly like what's going on. Like, you know, like you don't want to tell them, hey, you should be doing this way, or you're doing this wrong or whatever. Because then they're like, okay, she's just reprimanding. She either being bossy or she just being nasty or whatever. But if you kind of like, what did she say? Open-ended, what was it? Open-ended questions?
Open-ended questions.
Yeah. Where you kind of let them figure it out themselves. Mm-hmm. That I have to like work on too. Cause like I know it and I just want to like, and I love to talk and I'm constantly like, and it just comes out my mouth. And I'm like, oh, I should step back and like let them figure it out. But yeah, that's a good one, Kim, actually. It's a good point to bring up.
One thing that really made sense to me is she said, you have to have the mindset that there is no plan B. You are going to reach your goal. And that really hit me because I hit executive over a year ago, August. And, you know, and so as soon as I hit it, I was like thinking about getting silver in 6. And I set that goal and I was like, okay, by February, I have to hit silver. And then I was like, but if I don't hit it then I'll hit it in June, you know, and I kept giving myself the next deadline. Well, if that doesn't work, then here's the next plan. And I had like the whole like year planned out of like how I wasn't going to hit that date. And it was so ridiculous. And like, when I look back at that, I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, I basically set myself up for failure. I set myself up for like assuming that I wasn't going to make those goals that I was, you know, setting for myself. And so that really hit me that, you know, like it's okay to set a goal and miss it. But when you have a backup plan, you're giving yourself permission to miss it, you know? And so that really like hit me that I'm like, I need to like set solid concrete goals and work for them with the mindset of that's the only option, but then give myself grace if it doesn't work out that way.
Yeah, so, I do that sometimes too when I want to set a goal and then I don't see any changes and I'm like, okay, then it'll happen in like 3 months. And, okay, it'll happen in 3 more months. So yeah, if I don't see any changes right away, instead of like pushing for it, you know, I'm like, you know, like it won't happen now, it'll happen later. Because then I'll hear people say like, it's not really how fast you rank, you know, it's like, you know, as long as you get there, everyone's going to get there. That's kind of good advice, but also not, you know, like if you keep thinking that way, you know, you're not, I won't rank up for another 5 years. Like, yeah, I'll do it eventually. Exactly. And then when I'm like in my 60s, I'm finally like a silver. I'm like, oh, I made it. I did it. Oh.
Yeah.
Be aggressive.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of deciding how aggressively I want to fight for the next 4 days because I am super close to ranking up right now. I am over my OGV limit and one of my legs is well over what I need. And the next leg is just kind of struggling. So I'm just debating if I'm going to push it really hard and do everything I can to rank up or if I just want to wait and let it happen naturally. Because trying not to have the negative mindset set in, but, you know, I want to rank up and feel like I can maintain it. Whereas, you know, it's like some crazy things happened this month that aren't necessarily going to motivate people next month. So,
right.
Anyway, so I'm trying to
sales in December, right? I can't remember.
What's that?
We normally there's normally sales in December, right?
Yeah, not like what we've had though this month. Yeah, Black Friday. You know, and even so, you know, like I want to be able to hit rank and maintain it forever, not hit it once and then be like, yeah, well, I'm done. I got it, you know, and take another year to
like
hit it again.
Positive and just trying to do it and not
sure.
You know, like
yeah. So I'm just trying to decide whether it's worth it to push it right now to hit it. And then I'm fairly certain, and I'm not just being negative, that, that I wouldn't maintain it. Because, because of all, I mean, my OGV went up a ton because of all the holiday sales. And so anyway, so that's just kind of where I'm at, trying to work through that and try to figure out what I can do with it's just one leg that I need more OGV in. So
the skyrockets to a convention.
Yes.
I'll just spend I'll spend a crazy amount of money. I'll buy stuff there, and then when I come here, it's like ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll drop. So yeah.
Like I had one person who spent $500 on the sale, and she's not even, well, she hit star this month because of her own purchase, and she's, so I'm like that, and that's in one of the legs. So like she's not going to do that again next month, most likely. So Anyway.
I think that's what's hard about such a great sale like this. It's exciting. Everybody spends the money, and that's how I ranked up, was just the OGV. But it's going to drop back to normal next month because there's no big great deals. So is it just once a year that you rank up like this? And then that's where I was listening to her talk about, don't put those negative thoughts out there, because yes, that's exactly what will happen to you. So you still have, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, and what I noticed, my direct, well, she's not direct, so a little bit higher than us will do, is like she'll educate on something that is like vital to your life, like in our group. And then everybody in the group's like, oh, I got to add that to my order. And then it just bumps up. And it's really funny because I didn't even realize she was doing it until I started seeing the business side of it. And I'm like, oh, smart. Like, and it is things we need.
That happens like when I'll do a video on essential families, and I'll talk about something like the einkorn granolas. I love them. They're ridiculous. And then people are just sending me messages or commenting like, I'm putting it on my order and this and that. I'm like, I need my downline to do that, like I need to do a video for them. I need to just tag them on this, I need them to get excited about these products that I introduced. So I mean, just keep pushing on, just finding a new product to be excited about so they can get excited about it.
Yeah. Do you have your own downline group, Derick, like on Facebook or anything?
No, not yet.
So all your people are just in Essential Families and Take Care, Be Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they got all the resources there.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to put together my team.
See, we have a small one just so that way we can ask questions back and forth. Like local ladies doing a vendor, and we're like, hey, anybody have an extra bottle of Ninja? Like mine's coming, I'll just replace yours. You know what I mean? So we kind of help each other. Or I was invited to a vendor event, I can't do it. Does anybody in the group want it? And so we kind of connect in that way. And then that's where she educates just something daily. And that's how we start seeing these products that we're like, ooh, I really need cellulite magic, or you know what I mean? It starts bumping up our orders.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah.
We have
today
8 minutes.
I guess because we only have one audio. Normally it's nonstop. We go
I know.
an hour and a half, but today it's kind of just I'm half asleep.
Me too. I'm with ya.
I was meditating, and I got out of my meditation, and it was like what time were we supposed to be on 9? It was 8:57. I was like, oh no, I gotta get up. It's just normally way ahead, ready. But yeah, this was a good audio. I mean, she was there was some stuff where I was like, oh, I see what I've I've been doing wrong and what I should be doing. But I think all the audios are like that. You'll catch something. It's like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
like, you know, that was me. You know, I did that. I need to like change it up. So next week we have a few. How many do we have next week? One, two,
Next week is 4.
4.
So making up for this week.
Yeah, that should be a good talk.
So remember, they are released on Saturday morning. You have just from Saturday until Tuesday at 9 a.m. to get those listened to. So my suggestion is that you get on that first thing in the morning on Saturday and get started as quickly as you can. So yeah, we'll probably have a lot more to chat about next week. But did anyone have any kind of like event or class this week, or did you have any one-on-ones? Anyone want to talk about that?
With all the family in town, we did a lot of one-on-ones, just kind of just sharing in general about the oils, what we use them for, and they were going the whole entire time we were all together. So
That's awesome.
there were 3 signups from the family members then. So, but that's all we did was just use them and talk about them.
Great.
I had my ex-roommate from like a year and a half, 2 years ago. I've been trying to get her to sign up, and she says she's not a what did she say? She's not a what did she say? She's not a joiner. That's what she said, right? Then I look over, and you might remember this, but I look because I posted it, and I look over, and she has like stacks of magazines, and I'm like,
yeah.
You're not a joiner? You're not a joiner? And I'm like, what is this?
That was crazy.
So she's like, once in a while, like she'll send me a message. She say, hey, you want to do a class at my place? I'm like, yeah. And then I try to like link up and nothing happens. So then lately I've been like, kind of like not pushing her, but like really like trying to just talking a lot more about it. So then she sent me an email 2 days ago, and she's like, hey, this is all she wrote. She's like, why are your oils better? And she's like, look down. And she sends me like a link of like these oils I've never heard of. I forgot what they're called. I don't know anything about them. They only had 4 blends, and they were blends. They weren't even oils, because I looked it up, and they were like dirt cheap. And I was like, look, there's 2 things that you got to look out for. One is when they're dirt cheap like that, and also when they say you can't put them on your skin. I'm like, that right there should tell you something. So then I started explaining, I don't know much about them, but I'll tell you about Young Living and how we roll, you know? So I kind of like broke it down, and I was like, just give me a call. So I'm getting really close with her, and I'm going to count that as kind of a one-on-one, that email, because I'm going to call her. She asked for my number. So I'm kind of like, I've been working on that. I'm really close. I'm hoping by next week I'll have good news, but she's been a hard one to get. But then she's like, it's funny because she's like, no, I'll never do. But then she's kind of curious. She's like, hey, you know, what's going on with this? What's going on with that? You know, do you have something for this or that? And I'm like, you know what? If you get that kit, you can do a lot more, you know? So I'll get her.
Yeah.
Has she used any of your oil? Like, has she? Does she?
Jenny, come down here, please.
So she was like, she's older, she's like maybe like late 50s, 60s. So like, you know, I was in between apartments, and she was a friend of a friend, and I stayed with her for a while, and I would diffuse like all over the apartment. And she's like, since she was older, I would do, what's the one that I was doing all the time? What's that oil from the 60s? Patchouli.
Patchouli.
Right? And she would walk in, she's like, oh, is that patchouli? And I'm like, yeah, it is. You know, you gotta think, you know? So then I would like, she would ask me for a few, like, I don't know, she had like a rash or something, and I was like, just put lavender on it, whatever, like stuff like that. But yeah, she has. And,
okay.
But I do want to, she's volunteering her apartment to do for me to do a class.
That'd be great.
So she lives in this like luxury building in the Upper East Side. So I was like, invite those people from the building in, you know, like get those rich people in there, you know? So I'm hoping to do that soon. In fact, after this, I'm gonna reach out to her and give her a call. So yeah.
Well, I know that I have been talking a lot to different people. But my family has really been noticing when we were all together. I had a cousin that had a headache, and my sister-in-law was like, let Nisa slather some of that oil on you. You'll feel better. I'm telling you, she's going to have you slobbing and everything, because I did that for her the last time I was here.
We have less than a minute.
So, I mean, I'm trying to, I am working on different people, and they are noticing the things that I'm doing on my personal page. And
Great.
so they'll always come and ask questions about, so tell me some more about these oils. Okay, great. Let me tell you, they may not sign up right then, but I know that they're on my prospect list.
I was telling my downline, she was getting frustrated because she had people that were interested, and one or two, and they're like, okay, I want to sign up. And then she'll send a text and they won't respond. And then she'll see them like the next day and they won't say anything about it. And I said, don't worry about it. Cause that happens to me. Like, they may not say anything, but at least like I had someone actually go on the website ready to sign up and then didn't sign up. And then I'll see them like the next day and then they didn't, they wouldn't say anything. I'm like, don't worry about it. Because just because they didn't sign up then, or they don't sign up like this week or whenever, they're there. And eventually if they're interested, they'll come back to you and they'll sign. So just have it like, okay, they're there. They're like, and they'll eventually like figure it out. Because I have people right now contacting me after talking to them. I spoke to someone like 2 years ago, and now they're starting to reach out to me. My roommate, like someone I spoke to 3 months ago. So, I mean, although they're not getting the kit then and there, they're interested. And just keep in mind that eventually, they'll sign up, or they may sign up. Keeping it positive,
Okay, it's been saying less than a minute for more than a minute, but I think we should wrap things up.
So Kim, this is when we say, I love you. We're going to miss you. And and we also have a Marco Polo. So like that we didn't talk much this week, but
it was busy.
In case you want to talk, like something about the audio.
Connect with Derick and I on